Hi, I'm Brad Thompson of the Fort Worth PD. That's right, the old guy again. Those of you who watched my first video, I'm really not sure whether I should thank you or apologize to you. But either way, I do appreciate you clicking on my link again to hear what I have to say. In my last video, I gave a brief overview of my career here at Fort Worth PD with the idea of me getting a little more in depth in these video interviews. Every journey begins with a single step. Today I'd like to discuss the first step into the career with Fort Worth PD, and that's the academy process. The beginning was taking the civil service exam, which at that time was only offered once a year. And it's not much different today. It's once or twice a year. The staff down there is working on changing that and getting it offered a little more often, but right now it's still just once or twice a year. How you score on that exam is what determines the order in which they will call people back to continue the process. So it's very important that you do your absolute best on that to up your odds of getting that call back for that next phase of the hiring process. The next phase is the physical agility test. Now that test has changed quite a bit since I entered the department. When I came on, it was a Cooper standard type test consisting of max effort timed push-ups, sit-ups, a timed 1.5 mile run, as well as body fat composition and a flexibility test. Now the test that they're using today is shorter in duration. It involves climbing a chain link fence and negotiating a series of stairs and a dummy drag and a dexterity test involving trigger manipulation. Like I said, much shorter in duration. In fact, I think it has to be completed in under 3 minutes. Don't get lulled into a false sense of security and well-being that you passed that abbreviated physical, because we're seeing a lot of people wash out now once they get to the academy, because the standard that you're going to have to pass is along the same lines of what we had back 20 some odd years ago. While you're there, you're going to be running anywhere from 1.5 miles to up to as many as 6 miles a day while you're in the academy. And it's progressive. They're not going to take you out on day one and make you run 6 miles. It's formation runs. Pace is not that fast. You can do it. Just it's a matter of training for it. After finishing my physical agility, I was given a conditional offer of employment contingent on passing a thorough background investigation, polygraph, psychological, as well as a comprehensive physical test. There's also an oral review board that you must pass. I had a background investigator assigned to me who would serve as my point of contact during the hiring process and who would lead me step by step through the process. My background investigator left the department a year or so after I hired on, and I'd like to think it wasn't because of me, but no, actually he got hired by the DEA. So Craig, if you happen to be watching this, thank you for your assistance and your encouragement during that time. The academy today is about 31 weeks long. At the time I went through, it was 25 weeks long. I also had a full head of thick hair and a 28-inch waist, but that's a whole other story. I was assigned to Class 83. We started on October 14th, 1991. Almost a third of us, myself included, had already been officers with other agencies. We would serve as a point of reference and stability for our classmates. I don't know how stable most of us were, but we would be kind of that mentor for our classmates. Class officers were elected, and by fluke or warped sense of humor of my classmates, I was elected the class president, and so I would actually be the point of contact for the administration with our class and the adult supervision of it. 6 months of studying the Constitution, Code of Criminal Procedure, Penal Code, case law, defensive tactics, firearms, host of other topics, turned 30 some odd individual cadets into a well-bonded team of 30 probationary police officers. Shortly after 7 p.m. on March 6, 1992, we took the oath of office, were sworn in and issued our badges, and we were Fort Worth police officers. The work really just beginning. We still had 3.5 months of field training ahead of us before we would be given solo patrol status. And a few would fall away during that process, just as we had lost a few during the academy. Some people just really aren't cut out for it and washed out during that process. The rest of us would go on, begin our careers here at Fort Worth. In my next tapes, I'll kind of cover time in patrol and some of the other units that I've been a part of. Get a little more in depth than that. Until next time, I'm Brad Thompson, and I am the Fort Worth PD. Thanks for watching.